There's a nigh incomprehensible sense of dread which proliferates every body of my experience. A dread so primal in nature that attempting to explain it seems to border on some sort of religious acquisition. I don't want to live having never made any great art, and whether or not anyone pays attention to that art, or me as a consequence, is secondary. This dread is related to that sentiment only tangentially. It's this experience of consuming media that's been thrown together in a matter of hours, of watching some half-assed internet vlog and realizing that it has more artistic merit than anything I have ever done. It's this experience of watching an AVGN ripoff and realizing that this person who made a terrible yet entirely genuine video cares more about media than I possibly ever will. It's about watching someone try hard and fail, because failure is really only one half of that equation. In the end, they tried hard, and that's more than I've ever done. I don't know that I've ever made anything genuine. It's why I put the phrase post-ironic on my YouTube banner, because my hope is that I will make something so cynically removed that it will just wrap around to being genuine. And that's not something I'm actively trying to do either. No, that would betray the point. Right, the point is that I'm scared of failing, and maybe even scared of trying hard. Despite what I said earlier, I am interested in mainstream success. Despite having never made anything worthwhile, intelligent, or even anything with any effort put into it at all, I'm still sitting here thinking about how nice it would be if I didn't have to go to college. If I could just somehow break away from the mundanity of my everyday routine on accident, my life would be set. It isn't fair to say that I'm discontent. No, that implies that I'd at least be willing to try and liberate myself. It's just a stupid fantasy I have of not being around anymore, of being somewhere else. I'm not just bored with everyday life. I think it's probably a little bit more than that. This dread, whose unknown origin neither frustrates nor relaxes me, could be described as a form of self-doubt. It's the dread that I will never be able to make something as rudimentary and artistically bankrupt as a bad internet review show. Forget about actually putting my time into making something worthwhile. I'm afraid of even being able to achieve the lowest award in the spectrum of artistry. That I'll look up to the one or two people surrounding me on my deathbed and realize that no one ever really cared. No one ever bothered to care. Not because they were hateful, spiteful people, but despite trying, they were incapable. A fear of closing my eyes one last time and realizing that I was never able to allow anyone the opportunity to care about my art or me in general. Just how much time I'm wasting here isn't readily apparent to anyone. I've been around for 19 years now, and it still feels like I've accomplished nothing. I've devoted so much time to the inane garbage of my peers and authority figures. So much time that I will never get back. Time spent learning things that will probably never be helpful, nor contribute to my art. I don't want to be rude to those people who believe they were helping me. I don't want to tell them they're bad people, because I don't believe they are. But there's a part of me that wants to scream at all of them, "This is all your fault," and deny the responsibility I had in making myself this way, this insufferably empty. That's what my childhood feels like. A big waste of time spent learning things I don't know how to utilize. These skills weren't meant for me. They were meant for another better person, more suited to the production of things that are beneficial for mankind. The last thing I want is to look back at my life 5 years from now and realize that I wasted yet another half a decade. The last thing I want is to look back at my life 5 years from now and realize that despite wasting yet another 5 years, that was the outcome best suited for my existence. That I was only worthy of wasting time. That was what I deserved. That not only did I deserve it, but that it was the happiest ending to my young adult life that I could have possibly gotten. Maybe I don't want to be happy. Maybe I just want to be right. You tried hard. You got what you want. You tried hard. You got what you want. 5 years from now, those are the only words I want to hear. I don't want applause. I don't want success. I just want to live without the fear of never amounting to anything. Of never even meeting my own expectations of myself. The low, low expectations of at least making something culpably genuine. Quality aside. I admire people who are unaware of how bad they are. I admire how genuine they are. People don't understand the effort that goes into anything. No one understands how much time goes into everything they consume. Over the past few days, I've been made extremely aware of how much effort goes into something like an irate gamer review. People who are lambasted for their shitty humor and low-effort content are at least trying. They're at least producing something for an audience. They're at least willing to put themselves out there, regardless of what criticism or hate they receive. I'm not afraid of disappointing or boring people on the internet. I don't dread disappointing my parents. I'm self-absorbed. I don't care what other people think, at least not to the extent that most people do. I'm only afraid of disappointing myself.